He made his intercounty hurling debut for Tipperary as a 16-year-old when he joined the minor panel during the 2008 Munster Championship. He was on the under-21 panel in 2010 and captained the team in 2012. He finally debuted on the senior panel in 2013. During his time on the Tip Senior Hurling panel, he became a decorated player, winning a Railway Cup medal, 2 Munster Championship medals, an All-Star, 2 All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championships in 16 and 19. And he just recently retired from intercounty hurling. Our guest this week, none other than John Bubbles O'Dwyer. Bubbles, it's a crack.
How are you, lads?
The main question is, would you bait smacks in the skills competition?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. He's on about this for the last 2 years and he still won't come out and play. He said he's retired, so
yeah.
I'm retired now as well, so you can at least take me on now.
Yeah. What's the skill competition? So free taking, penalties,
free taking, 3 on the 21. We go 3 on the 45, 3 on the 65. Hurling and football.
Crossbar.
No, lad, you can't hit the ball 65 yards.
Well, I'll have to use the goalie hurling.
Have you ever seen him hurl?
No, I scored a couple of goals on him before, right?
In football?
No, in hurling.
Yeah.
Hurling.
Did you? When did you play against us?
Smacks under 16 or under 14.
The first time I ever seen Bubbles, right? It was the under 16 Arabon tournament, and he was on the Tip A team. I was on the B team, and everyone was talking about this fucking Bubbles. I was like, who the fuck is this lad? This Bubbles lad. And we were, I think you were playing in like Holy Cross or something, and I went up and this lad was there, load of kids around him already, and he was 16, and someone was poking the ball to him and he was flicking it at that side, and the ball was going around his head and he was putting his other arm around and catching the ball, and I was like, fuck me, who is that lad? And he just kept doing it over and over again. I was like, fuck me, that's fair cool, like.
And it was this lad.
And it was Bubbles. Were
you aware of all the talk about you at that age?
No, not really, no. There wouldn't really be talk about, like, I remember when I was first into the minor panel, like, Kieran Murphy was from Killinalls, and he was saying, like, oh, you having a hope getting on this team in here, like, because John O'Neill was there and Kieran Morris, like, you know, they were unbelievable, like. John O'Neill probably one of the most skillful hurlers of all time, but bad run of injuries and stuff, like, so I ended up getting on the team, but there wasn't really much talk about me, like, you know. When you're that age, you wouldn't really pay any notice to it anyway, like, you know.
I always wonder about that though, like, you know, putting young lads up on a pedestal. It's a lot to take on, to have everyone talking about you, and then you go home and, like, if you win something, there's a parade about you and all.
No, not much. Like, I watched Joe Cannon on Laker Gale last week. Like, see the like the way it was going with him. Like, it was absolutely 15 years of age. Like, at 16, winning Club All Irelands on his own. Like, you know, like, I was nowhere near that. Like, you know, Killinall wouldn't have been getting anywhere near it anyway. But, you know, like, that's just different level. Like, you know.
Yeah. And then when you go on and you're doing great stuff, like, are you aware? Yeah, are you aware of all the talk about you as you get going then? Like, do you ever get sick of, when you're playing, and I remember you moving to care, like, are you happy to have people come up to you, or do you avoid people, like, or?
It all depends now, to be fair.
Yeah.
And it all depends on how many pints are after as well.
Yeah.
You know, I can care, in fairness, in care, it's not too bad, you know, because they don't really know too much about hurling. But
I had to get that in.
Just Shawnee O'Connor now.
Do you know what is, lad? The fact you have a nickname is probably what put you above a lot of other players, because your nickname's Bubbles, and everyone was like, oh, Bubbles.
It stands out, like.
Yeah,
that's the reason why I gained more media attraction than anyone else, because it's just a nickname, like.
Yeah,
it's not that I was better than anyone hurler. Like,
you were good enough in fairness.
It's only because of the nickname that rolls off the tongue and the story behind it. So,
well, you're going to tell us the story?
I'm sure you know about it, Smacks.
No, go on, tell us the story.
I think you told me one night out. Yeah.
When I was born, I was born with a big, massive head of hair, hairy arms, hairy legs, the whole lot. And the mother just had to pop me out. She said, "Jeez, he looks like Michael Jackson's monkey."
Who is called Bubbles?
Who was called Bubbles. So stuck since then.
So your own mother gave you the nickname.
Yeah. Still never leave it down.
I love it.
Big, massive, curly hair, like. When I was young growing up, like, all the lads used to call me Bubbles, stuck straight away, but everyone used to call me Screech from
Saved by the Bell.
Dustin Diamond. He used to call me Screech because of big curly hair. You know?
So many things when we were looking back at you over the years to have to talk to you about. One of my favourites is the 2016 Icelandic clap.
Oh yeah. I don't know where that came out. So God, we're just there.
You're on stage in Semple Stadium. There's 40,000 people there. You have to win in the All Ireland 2016.
Yeah. I don't know why we did. I don't know why I did it.
You started an Icelandic clap. Well, that was all the go at the time.
It was. Yeah. I don't know. I think I said it to Brendan. I said it to Brendan. Jez, be right crack to do an Icelandic clap, and he said to me, "Gosh, you do it." I said, fuck it, sure, why not? Fully loaded, like.
Had you a few pints on board?
Oh, jeez, drinking all day. we're in the palace at 9 o'clock.
Oh, fantastic.
So you go to the hospital and you go around and see all the kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Guard escort then straight to the palace, like.
That's a good start. Yeah,
absolutely crazy.
What's the palace on? Is it Fleet Street there in Dublin, or what's it on?
Oh,
Dame Street, is it?
Just off Dame Street.
Yeah.
And it's the most narrow pub in the country. Then you walk in. I remember walked in. The place absolutely packed. All past Tipperary players from 91.
It's a good spot now.
There,
it is good. Yeah.
I just walk in. When we walked in with the cup, then whole place fucking drink everywhere.
Everyone
just all the past players they're drinking away and everyone just having the crack, like. It's brilliant.
And then you have to get the bus down all the way to Tip. Or do you have to train? What did you get?
Should we have a few pints and then go back to the hotel?
I
in 19, I went back to the hotel. All me stuff was out of the room and everything. I had no room. I had to get changed in the concierge room. left me suit from the night before inside the concierge room. I was ringing Jim McLaughlin looking for a new
suit.
Couldn't find it. Then I rang the hotel.
That's the drapery in Nina.
That's here. Yeah, your suit pants is here. Yeah, get the bus down. Then she'd be drinking the whole way down. And the crack would be lifting, like. Get down. Then she up on stage.
We've always said that. We've always joked about, like, with each other, saying we'd swap it all for, like, to win an All Ireland. Well, what happens when you actually win an All Ireland?
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
into the dressing room.
You go back into the dressing room. What happens after that?
You just in 19 I was asked to do a lot of interviews, and I told them all to feck off. Because like, you want to, like, the best part after winning All Ireland is going into the dressing room straight after it, like after all the celebration on the pitch, and you're going in and you're just there together as a team and the management. Yeah. So went in. I actually missed the start of it, but Paddy and Shamey brought in the cup, and it's just mayhem for 30 seconds. Yeah. And then we all just stand up in a huddle, and someone sings a song then. Or whatever.
Get a few pictures.
But like in Crow Park in the dressing room, straight across the alley, like there's a bar, like where you get your food and drinks and stuff, like.
Oh, it's like a players' bar.
Yeah, so the two teams go in there and meet, like, and have a little chat, like, you know. But that's basically it. You go into the dressing room after, and everyone just sitting down chatting, and obviously delighted, like, and Johnny Sheedy thrown out a savage rendition of a song there after 29, the whole place erupted. Like.
What did he sing?
I can't even remember. I don't know.
What did it say?
It's grand.
Wasn't Celine Dion in it?
No.
It's grand. It's grand going into that players' bar when you've won.
Yeah,
must be a fairly depressing place when you've lost.
Yeah, sure it is. Yeah, I can't remember if we went in 14.
Oh, you surely did. Did you on the replay?
Yeah, I think I'd say we did. Yeah,
I'd be gone fucking home.
Yeah, I'd say we did, but like again, like the Ireland finals that we played, like it's always been against Kilkenny. Like Kilkenny are, you know, they're all sound lads, like when you go in after the match and stuff, like, you know. So it's go in there and have a chat. It's after the semi-finals as well. Like you can just go straight across from the dressing room, like, and just go in there for a small little bite to eat before you go in for your proper meal or whatever. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's grand. It's a bit of crack in there.
And then you have a banquet that night, like, is it? So you finish Crow Park, go back to the hotel, get your suit on, banquet.
Yeah,
RT cameras. They're the whole lot.
The whole lot. Be on their best behaviour again.
But it does be.
Then they pack them up, fucking mayhem.
Yeah, I've never been to one of them, but I know people say it does be gianted, that you actually wouldn't even get drunk at the banquet because you'd be so busy, like.
Oh no, like you very rarely get a drink there, like after 19, I think we left at 12 o'clock into town, like. You know, whereas the banquet stays going the whole night, but it's just supporters, like.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, I think it was 2014 or 2016. My cousin came home from Australia. He came home the Thursday or something, and they were drinking Friday, Saturday. He arrived onto the banquet. He couldn't even talk. And like he would have been on the panel years ago, and he'd no shamey or whatever. I went up to him. I was, well, Shez, you're a bit worse for wear, Joe. Where's shamey? Couldn't even talk. Like, he wasn't even supposed to be at the banquet. He just snuck in because he was so drunk. Like.
Oh, that's brilliant.
But it's absolute mayhem. Like.
Yeah,
crazy.
And then the next day up, and then homecoming.
Next day up after the hospital, Palace Bar. Home and
how do they pick who goes to the children's hospital?
You put your name forward if you want to go. So like, it's always a good thing to do. Like,
yeah,
you know,
it's nice to do that.
It's a tough place to go, but
yeah, it's
like,
nice.
I remember 19, I went in. The only tip top that I had, actually, I just took it off and gave it to a young lad there. Like, you know,
yeah.
It's only a small thing, like, but it's good to go and
That's
see.
Class, yeah. It's a nice tradition, like.
Oh, it is
for all Ireland teams to do.
Class, yeah.
Speaking of All Ireland's 2014, man, was it over?
Was it over the bar?
The
fucking
famous
Hawkeye.
That's the only reason why the media come after me as well, because of that fucking free.
I said the first thing when you retired, I rang you and said, you'll definitely get Laker Gale, and you just said, yeah, because of the Hawkeye thing. That was the main thing, not the All-Star, not anything else. That fucking Hawkeye.
I'd still be adamant that it was over, but
Honestly,
yeah, I would. Yeah.
you thought it was over?
Oh yeah, 100%. Then Paddy Marr, then, like, he didn't say it to me after, because you know, well, it wouldn't have been a nice thing to say, but Paddy Marr said he was standing right behind. He said it was wide.
No way.
And then Darren Gleeson then came up to me after the match, and he was like, "Do you not know that the wind always goes left to right when you're striking into that end?" There's no fucking good telling me now, Dan. do you know what I mean?
Had you been on the freeze all day that day?
Well, back then I would have been always taking the long range ones. Like.
And who was taking the close in ones?
Shamey. Well, yeah, Shamey, yeah.
How far out was that?
You're on your own 65, yeah?
I'm your own 45 nearly, yeah. But like, Owen Kelly was on the field at that time, like, and it was kind of a bit of confusion who was going to take it, like, but straight away, like, Noel and Shamey came to me and said, "This is yours," like, you know, and I would have happy enough left it there for Owen, like, you know, probably
Or Noel.
Or Noel, yeah.
Noel, good long range free
like,
taker too.
back then I was taking long range free. I was after scoring, I think, one long range one or maybe two, I don't know, but I was after playing well as well, so
Yeah.
confidence is up. But like after that, I went into the dressing room, like, when the camera came to me when the final whistle or missed it, whatever, like, I was kind of smiling. Into the dressing room after, I was kind of fine, and I went away then after about 5 minutes and just sat in the corner of my own, kind of like, I'm after fucking losing All Ireland for Tip here, like. I think it was Shane McGrath came out and just hit me a slap across the face and said, "Get up to fuck." That's basically what happened. He said, "Come on, it's not as if we lost. We've another day to go." Like.
Yeah.
We were out. I think we were somewhere when the Hawkeye thing. Do you remember it came out a few months ago about Hawkeye? Wasn't Hawkeye was wrong or something?
Yeah, Shane Welch scored a 45 in football and they gave it as wide.
That was it.
Yeah.
And they gave it as a wide and it went over the bar. And then there was like, "Oh, we may have got some Hawkeye things wrong."
Yeah.
There was some sort of a statement, really. And straight away, everyone was like, "That fucking free in 2014 was probably over the bar." You're vindicated now.
Yeah, well, not really. Like, I still don't have that Ireland medal.
We want to talk about 2016.
People are doubting this team. We knew exactly what we had in this team, in this dressing room in 2016. Everyone doubted us from the start of the year. We proved our doubters wrong tonight. We're champions of fucking Ireland!
On live on RTE television.
The slating I got for that. I swear, I had to come out and do an apology and everything, like, the next morning.
Who made your apologies?
RTE and Tip and the county board. Next morning, went to the Children's Hospital and I had to do a 2-minute interview with Marty Morrissey apologising first.
What'd you say?
I said, "Jeez, Michael Condon done it, why can't I do it?"
They're fucking cheats.
Yeah. See that? I'm fucking ruined.
Just, I got some slating for it. It's only a slip of the tongue, like.
Yeah.
Do you know, but
Well, emotions are high.
yeah, but like, that's the thing. Like, after an Ireland final, like, all you want to do is celebrate with your teammates and stuff. And they come putting cameras in your face. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing worse, like. Do you know?
Did you watch it? Did you ever watch that video back?
Oh, I did.
He did. I sent him Wednesday night show.
I was after getting a load of letters that year, like, for after I got sent off, like. A lot, like, letters.
You get sent off against Limerick.
Yeah, like, I got letters posted to the house and stuff like that, like, and the mother opened them. She wouldn't let me read them, like, some of the stuff that was
Bad
on
letters,
them.
like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lads abusing you, like.
Yeah.
Fair enough, like, lads doing it on fucking Twitter or whatever you want to do, like, sending letters to your house and stuff. So I kind of used that, like, I got hold of one of the letters and it was absolute brutal stuff that we wrote. Going in on you, going in your family, like, going
Jesus
in on
Christ.
uncle or whatever,
Yeah,
like, and
yeah.
cousins and just mental, like. So
Fuck. That was the fuel.
yeah, and then I say fucking on an interview, like, and there's war over it, like, you know.
Imagine if you read out one of the letters, like.
I know, yeah. Which are like,
What kind of stuff are people saying? Abusing.
just people saying you're not motherfucking cunt, you shouldn't be wearing a Tip jersey and all this sort of stuff, like.
You got sent off
Against Limerick in the first
Munster
semi, was it?
semi-final.
Yeah.
Early enough in the game. 15 minutes.
12, 13 minutes, yeah.
Is that your only time getting sent off for Tip?
Yeah.
Everybody's allowed one.
Yeah.
Everyone gets one free.
Yeah. Once is all, I think, yeah. Yeah.
Well, my favourite thing about your 2016 speech when you say champions of fucking Ireland is it just cuts to the crowd and there's just one girl there clapping on her own.
I didn't notice that until he said it.
It is, of course, Max's wife, Annie. And why is she on her own, John?
Oh, lad. You just brought all that back to me when you retired. So, like, obviously, when Bubbles announced his retirement, that video came out.
Yeah.
And then I didn't cop it. I remember at the time she was on television. I remember that in 2016. And then Johnny said to me, look at the video of Bubbles. And I looked at it. And then, like, Annie was in it. I was like, oh, fucking hell. And I showed it to Annie. She was like, yeah, do you remember why I was sitting on my own? I was like, what? And I went, so we got tickets, and there was like, there's 2 together and 1 on their own or something.
Yeah.
And then like I was like looking at Annie's and like, you know, the 3 of us went together. And then I was like, well, I'll obviously like I'll sit with Johnny. She was like, I'll sit my own. So I was like, grand, okay. So I don't know about it.
Wasn't even a question about it.
Could have been me on telly, lad.
So we were having the crack like.
Yeah.
Drinking pints.
We had just started the 2 Johnnies, so yeah, we were absolutely having time for our life.
Did you play at the homecoming on the Monday?
We did.
2016, yeah.
Yeah.
And 19, did you?
2016, decent enough performance. 2019, not ideal. Forgot the words to our own songs. Wasn't hectic.
Because 19, we were on Up for the Match.
Yeah.
So we were out celebrating the Saturday before the game.
And all day Sunday at the game.
Celebrated all day Sunday at the game. And in the homecoming, like, jeez, we were an absolute ribbons. We did an interview for with Tip FM backstage. I'd say it didn't make one word of sense.
I think I heard that actually.
It was absolutely scandalous. Absolutely scandalous. I was so cold as well, and it was a warm day. I had to send James Hayes down to buy me a tip jacket downtown. That's how rough I was.
You were talking about well, people. Speaking of people abusing you and all, you're not on any social media.
No.
Were you ever?
I was. But
was that a conscious decision when you were playing that you were like, oh, fuck
or
that.
when did you come off?
I don't need that.
a good few years ago. Yeah. Some people like it, some people don't.
Yeah.
But like, you know, you're better off not being on it with some of the stuff that could be going around. Like, especially nowadays. Like back when I first started, there was very little of it. Like, but nowadays, it's everywhere. Like,
shit out there.
Yeah.
You know, so
How long are you off it? 4 or 5, 6 years?
probably. Yeah. I don't really keep count now. To be fair, Johnny.
So then you don't go on
No.
Twitter or Facebook or Instagram?
No.
You don't miss it?
No.
You're like Ed Sheeran, man.
Oh, is he not on anything?
Ed Sheeran just has an old brick of a phone.
Go ahead.
If you want him, you email him.
Right.
Bubbles has 20 phones though.
Yeah. You have a work phone.
5 different numbers.
Yeah, I mean, numbers keep changing. All right. That's why I'm not getting any phone calls the last couple of days. It's great.
Do you think you'll ever go back on it?
No.
Here's one after. There'll be some shite talked and like the slating. Do you ever go on the chat rooms, Premier Review about the Tipperary lads?
No, one of the lads there now will be on it and he'd be telling me, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing on that? Like,
Yeah. But did you go on it now when like you're a minor? You're going for luck?
yeah.
Yeah, you'd be loving getting a mention.
Play a good game, you go on it, see who's talking good about you, like.
Yeah.
You know, but
I was always writing about myself on.
as you get older, then like you're having more bad games than good games, so you don't really.
You don't be looking at it as much. I used to be writing on it. That big lad from Ross Gray should be playing.
Having more bad games than good games. It's fair to say you had a good career, John. Fairness.
I had an alright career. I seen like the only social media I have is probably the 42.
Yeah.
I'm on the 42 24/7. I was on it the other day and I went into the article on myself and went down to the comments. I think there was about 8 or 9 comments and all fairly good apart from one. Waste of talent.
We always remember the one bad one, don't we?
Yeah.
We're the same, like.
Yeah, but
Is that how you'd rate your own career? All right.
yeah.
Why?
Really?
Could have won a lot more, like.
Why?
Yeah, we could, like with the team that we had, we could have won a lot more. But again, we came up against Kilkenny to,
Great team.
yeah, do you know, and then like obviously Limerick now, but we could and should have won a lot more. You know, at 14, for example, like we should have won that game. That was probably one of the best games of all time, anyway.
Yeah,
That's
that's
unbelievable
But,
game.
you know,
Yeah.
it's probably not one of the best games of all time for Tip, like because we lost. But so we could have won that. We had a good rivalry with Galway as well, like 15, semi-final of 15, semi-final of 17 as well.
17 was in New York for that. It was
No,
fucking
like-
heartbreaking.
Like we probably could have contested 5 or 6 All-Irelands in a row, like.
Yeah.
But you know, again, like they're good teams, but on a personal level, then like winning one All-Star, like I could have won more.
What year did you win the All-Star?
14.
Yeah, fuck it. 19 as well. You had a fair year, like.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I had a best year I ever played was probably 2012 and under 21s.
You captained the 21s.
Best game I ever played was probably against Clare in the Munster final that we lost. They scored a goal in the last minute. That was probably the best game I ever played for Tip.
That's one that sticks out for you.
And it's still to this day the biggest, the hardest loss to take.
That one.
Yeah.
And the under 21.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because that team, like, I remember we were playing like the under 21s against the seniors is always a game, maybe 2 weeks before a championship match or something like that, like, you know.
Yeah.
And I think at the time we'd only won on the panel, and we played and I played very well. Like, I don't know who I was marking, but
For the 21s.
Yeah, Declan Ryan was the manager. Then he came up and called 3 of us aside and asked 3 of us wanted to panel. I point blank said no, and the other 2 did. I just wanted to concentrate on what to do on like. And for that to lose that then was one of the hardest to take. Conor Ryan, who retired as well from injuries, we had a right battle that day. Like, Conor Ryan, he's 6'3", 6'4", like an animal of a man. Like, we had a right good battle. That was probably one of the best days I played. Like, and still the hardest loss to take as well.
And what's so special about your performance that day?
I don't. Well, Barrett won a heap of money on it.
Skullberry, yeah.
What, he had you back for top scorer or what?
Yeah, he had me back for. He had me back to score a goal anytime. He had me back to score the first score, and he had me back to score the first free.
Did you get all 3?
Yeah. The first score was a free.
Oh, nice.
Double.
Yeah.
So, and then I scored a goal as well. Yeah.
What did you score that day?
I think I scored about 1-9 or 10 or something. 1-5 from play.
Just not wrong with that.
Yeah. And that group as well, like, because we were like, it was a very close group, and there was only one on the senior panel. Like, you know, that was the start to Clare winning 3 in a row as well. Ireland's like, that was like Tony Kelly and all. They were all only out of minor, like, so they were very young.
Yeah.
And that like was fair hard. I remember going into the dressing room, just sitting down, like, you know, after you lose, like, into the end of the year, like, like the captain or whatever has to stand up and thank everyone.
Yeah.
I just stood up and I can't say anything. I literally couldn't say it.
Fuck.
Went home then. Katie Taylor was actually fighting on the Thursday. That was on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Katie Taylor was fighting on the Thursday. I said there was lads asleep. She was fighting at about 11 o'clock. I said there was lads asleep and everything at that stage.
Oh, big session.
Yeah.
Would you take in all the losses bad, or would you like as a player, like, or would you be one of the lads who, like, you know, look, it's over now, what can I do about it? Like,
I take it bad, yeah.
Yeah.
You take it bad if you play bad, like.
Yeah.
You know, if you play well, it's like, could I have done any more or whatever, like. But yeah, you take them bad. Again, it all depends on who it's against as well, like, you know, like, and if you had a chance, or look, if a team was better than you on the day, like, fair enough. But, you know,
when you leave it behind you.
Yeah, well, yeah, you kind of just have to move on then as well. Like, the older you get, like, the more you kind of move on quicker, like.
Liam Sheedy, one of your former managers, wrote a lovely piece in the Examiner about you, and he said, "I'd describe him as a likable rogue. We had our moments. It wasn't always straightforward. You had to bring him with you. There were times we sparked off each other, but we got to know each other, and over time we connected and struck up a strong bond." And he says, "You were a good man to go for a pint with, and a good man to go for a round of golf with."
Stephen Sheedy used to hop off each other, alright.
What would you had differences on? Training.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Running.
Yeah. Well, no, I did mind doing that. But, like, I just see the game different to a lot of other people. Like, I'd be very similar to Eamon O'Shea, like, who's the coach. Like,
Yeah.
You know, like, space and movement and all this sort of stuff, where Sheedy probably just loves lads just hopping off each other, like.
Yeah.
You know,
Work rate.
Yeah, you know, hooking and blocking. Like.
That wouldn't be your spec. No.
You know, I always go for the 80-20 rule. Like, you know, 80% of the good stuff, 20% of the bad stuff.
Hooking and blocking being bad stuff.
Yeah. You know, yeah, like, but in fairness to Sheedy, like, if you ask him something, or if you put a pint across, like, he'd listen to you, like, and he'd take it on board. But same as that, he turned that around, because I was in 18, like, I had a bad year. Like, I didn't play at all. Well, I started two out of 4 games, like, but I had a bad year. And when he came in, then I was like, fuck, this is the right boost now that I need and Tip need, like.
Yeah.
And he came in and he gave you that, like.
What is the Liam Sheedy effect like?
He's just a great man manager, like.
Yeah.
Great man manager.
Would he treat you differently than someone else?
No.
Treat you all the same.
Treats everyone the same, but he might approach people in different ways.
Okay,
but he treats everyone the same, like. You know, if you treat him with respect, you'll get it back, like. But you can go to him with a question or whatever, like. But he's just a great man manager, like. You know, he knows how to manage people. Like, I remember everyone saying in was it 2021 or whatever, like, we're down playing, I think it was against Limerick, and on the sideline, like, the 15-minute, there was a break in the 15-minute water break or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, he was there talking to me nice and calm, then he went over to his shamey a belt, like,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So, like, everyone is different, like, but, like, again, you wouldn't need to do it when you're playing well, like. So he only does stuff like that when you're.
He has a great quote about it here. He says, even in 2021, when the body was plaguing him, he gave it a go. He scored 1-2 from playing 35 minutes against Limerick, 1-10 from playing 3 matches. injury didn't let him get near his potential that year, you wouldn't have let this is the line that gets me. You wouldn't have let every player out there in the shape he was in. So basically, like, I think
he knew you weren't 100.
I think he's telling I wasn't injured.
he's covering for it.
I know. No, I was kind of injured, all right, but yeah, but 21 was a tough year as well. Like, and
that was COVID and fucking everything.
Yeah, and that kind of led into 2022 then. But yeah, just, like, I get a ball, like, and I suppose I'd probably score, like, you know. Where,
but I've never heard a player get so much unfair. Like, people would always comment on Bubbles isn't fit. Bubbles is fit. Like, I've never heard that been said about anyone else.
I'm not one of these lads going around with a six pack, like, you know. like, I swear, like in 2019 when the nutritionist came in, like, I'd be going around eating 1,400 calories, like, and then you rock up then to someone else then next sitting beside you, he could be eating 4,500, like.
Yeah.
So like the stuff that you had to do, like, everybody's body is different, like.
Yeah.
Like, I carry that bit of weight, like, but if I look at food, I'll put on weight, like.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Ronan Mark could eat 5 pizzas a day, like, and he wouldn't put on any weight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Were you on 1,400 calories a day?
Just for December, January, February.
And you were training?
Yeah.
That's low.
5, 6 days a week, like, yeah.
That sounds very low.
Yeah. It was tough going.
You're
like,
hungry going around the place.
Starving. Starving, yeah. But, like, that's what you have to do, like. No, it's not like it's. I know when you win an All Ireland and all that, like, it's all worth it, like, but in the grand scheme of things, like, it's
fucking miserable for 6 months of the year.
Like. Tough, like, it's fair tough, like, what you put yourself through, like, and then, like, you're doing running train or whatever, like, and you're only eating, like, you're after going to train, you're after eating a banana and a bowl of porridge all day, like, you know, and there's lads there absolutely hopping after running, and you're trying to keep up with them in the run as well, and
you're bollocks,
like, it's just they're eating food all day, like, I'm fucking drinking water.
Yeah,
you know, like, and your legs are heavy, like, but then in the long run, then, like, come May, like, you know, you're primed then, like, you know.
Johnny alluded to it there about the talk about Bubbles, and maybe it's because you're from South Tip and we're from South Tip, or as you said, the nickname or what, but I think you must be one of the most talked about Tip players in Tip with the last 10 years. And 18 especially, you were saying you had, by your own high standards, one of your poorer years, say, right? And when Sheedy came back in 2019, Liam Sheedy was appointed Tip manager,
the big talk was like, is he going to get rid of Bubbles?
And people, everyone we met was like, he should get rid of Bubbles now. And I heard Bubbles is trouble. I heard he's bad to train. Everyone was talking about this crack, like. Are you hearing that stuff?
Ah, you would, yeah. Like, people are only looking from the outside, like. Yeah. Like, if you're not injured and you're able to train, like, I train as hard as everyone else, like.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, but there's a myth out there. Look, that's fine. Like, let that myth be out there, but like.
But it's the same lads that are like saying that then in 19 when we win in All Ireland, like, they're fucking.
Oh yeah.
They're loving
clapping
you
on the back.
Yeah.
Well, sure, hurling is only fucking. You're only a clap in the back's only a foot away from the kick in the hole. Like.
But I think from getting to know you is maybe because, like, you'd like to go for a pint in the pub and you wouldn't be the kind of guy to hide from people.
No.
Like, if you wanted to go for a pint, you'd walk down the town and care and have a pint, and you wouldn't be like afraid of people saying, "Oh, jeez, there's a fella playing for Tip out drinking," like, you know.
Well, you would.
Would you be aware of
in season?
Yeah, but like I remember down in Cork, like, Steph and James Barry lived together. Like, every Sunday night after a league game, like, Steph and James Barry went for pints, like, you know.
Yeah.
And then at a latter stage, then Mikey Breen joined us, like. But like down there, you see, people wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
People from Tip wouldn't know. But if you done that at home,
in Clonmel or Thurles,
you know, like, going to Clonmel, it might be okay. But going to Thurles, like, people would be like, just have a match next week and they're out fucking drinking, like.
Oh, yeah. The next day you'd be an alcoholic, like.
Yeah,
Chinese
exactly,
whispers,
yeah.
like.
Like, I remember I went into the bookies there one day. I think Cheltenham could have been on, and there was a good crowd in there. And my mother went in then a few minutes later. My mother knew a fella in there, and the fella came up and the fella goes to her, "Just Bubbles has an old gambling problem, does he?"
Serious?
Yeah, because I walked
just because you walked
into the bookies
during Cheltenham,
walked back out, like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just because, like, you're on the pedestal of being a Tipperary hurler or whatever, like, people look at you differently, like. Yeah. But like, I love going down sitting in a corner having a few pints, like.
Yeah.
You know, and talking to lads.
Yeah. Do you think you did more of that than your teammates?
No.
People just talked about you doing it more.
Yeah. People. There's no point trying, like, the more you try and hide it, the more likely you're going to be caught out, like. Do you know? So if you're open and honest about it by going for a few pints,
yeah,
at least the manager will know that you're going for a few pints and you're not trying to be sneaky about it.
Yeah.
Like, Sheedy Sheedy had no problem with lads going for a few pints. Like, as long as you're able to train, they're able to train at 100% on a Tuesday night. Like, so be it.
Yeah.
Do you know? And he'd know about Michael Ryan the same. Like, obviously you're not going out drinking fucking the week before a championship game, like, or whatever.
Yeah.
During the league, like, you have to be able to let your hair down too, like.
And where did all this stuff come? People just had this thing about Bubbles being like, oh, I heard he's causing trouble. I heard he's disruptive. Like, this was all the talk, especially at the end of 2018.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, that's just people talking, like, and they're just looking for, it's clickbait, I suppose, isn't it?
There's probably one of them in every county. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
someone has to be the fall guy.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I didn't mind being it, like.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of the same with Barrett. Like, myself and Barrett were kind of painted with the one brush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I heard the two boys are causing wicked trouble. I
Yeah.
swear to God, I remember that being said.
But, like, we don't do anything different to anyone else, like. You know? So
I always wanted to ask, night before in All Ireland, would you be watching up for the match, or like are you totally like fucking?
you'd be watching it.
Yeah. Everyone would be like, "No, I'll be home, fucking, doing. Oh no, I'll be doing yoga the night before." Yeah, meditating.
No,
You'd definitely be watching that, 100%.
Yeah.
watching up for the match and eating a lot of chocolate and stuff.
Yeah, getting the energy up.
But that's what you do. Like the days before matches, like a Saturday before a Sunday match, that was unbelievable. Especially when the new nutritionist came in 2019. The amount of food that you eat on a Saturday. I swear to God. Like the amount of, like, you have to eat, like, carb low. You get up in the morning, have a big breakfast, then you'd have a scone, then 2 hours later, then your lunch, and then another scone, then another 2 hours later, and then your dinner, and then another scone. It was absolutely unbelievable.
You're definitely the only intercounty hurler look forward to the day before the match.
I swear to God, one of the biggest requests in 2019 on was scones.
It's going just addicted to
Scones from everyone. Like.
That's why you won the All Ireland.
I remember Niall O'Meara. Niall O'Meara was bringing them home in his pockets and everything. Brilliant, like. But
Currents are playing.
all playing for me anyway. Yeah.
He's a playing scone, man. We get on to retirement now.
Yeah. You knew I was finished a long time.
We knew fucking ages ago. But like,
When did you know you were finished?
A long time. See, like, when I stepped away last year, like, I was injured or whatever, but this year then, it didn't pan out, like, whether I'm back on the panel or whatever. And when you're going around in your everyday life, like, and everyone asking you, "Geez, when are you back?" Or,
Yeah.
"Why aren't you on the panel?" or this or that, like, and when are you coming back to us? And just sick of people asking you.
Yeah.
So I just said, and sitting down at home actually watching Laker Gale with the mother, and she said it to me, "So when are you getting one of them?" I was like, "Well, sure, I haven't retired." And she's like, "Oh, you need to put out a statement," like, and just people asking you constantly. So I said, "Look, I'll put it out," and I just got it in my head, and I contacted the county board, and I said to them, they said, "Oh, do you want to write up something there?" I said, "No, did you see Pádraig Mahony's statement there 2 weeks ago?" "Yeah, that'll do." Nice and simple, like, nice and handy. Like, I didn't want to be going into too much detail. So he said, "Look, I'll do up something there and I'll send it to you and just approve it, whatever." So he sent it to me, and I asked him to add one thing. I said, he was talking about Dun 21. I said, just add in that I was captain in 2012.
How does it work when you when you retire from intercounty? Like, do you get told at the start of the year if you're on a panel or not? Do you know, like say last year, I know you left halfway during the year, and it was like Bubbles is injured. Everyone was like, "Ah, well, he'll be back. He's only 31." Like,
New manager then.
new manager. Like, do they ring in and go, "How are you, John? How's the leg?"
I just no.
You didn't get any phone call.
No, it depends if you're either part of the panel or you're not, like. So if you are, like, you obviously get a phone call. If you're not, you just don't, I suppose. I don't really know.
Just because you're injured doesn't mean you're not. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, but one manager might like it, and the other manager then might think that I don't want him part of my panel because he mightn't suit the way I hurl or I want to play or whatever. Like, do you know?
but do they not tell you?
Oh, what you want, like a hug and a kiss, like, or a,
Fucking right, I do.
do you know, like,
When an All-Star and 2 All-Irelands, I want a phone call.
look, like, at intercounty level, like, that's just the cutthroat business of it, like, isn't it? Do you know?
I'll tell you one thing, I wouldn't like that at club level. There's a fella said to me, "You won't be getting your belly tickled off me," and that was the quote I got. But it's harsh. Like, you've given since 2013, since you started.
That's just the way it goes, isn't it? You just have to move on. Everyone moves on. I had enough of it anyway. Like, even last year, like, when I stepped away last year, I was kind of, like, I went in and I gave it a go and I was trying and couldn't get injuries right or whatever. And I remember coming down from training one night, and I was walking out with Shamey and Bonner, and I was actually happy walking out, and I said to the lads, I made a decision there and then, I said, lads, I won't be back. I said, I can't do it anymore. Like, just when you stop enjoying it, that's when you know you need to go. Because then I was in there, and so you want to be on the pitch and you want to be playing, but then if you're injured or if you're not fit or whatever, like you're probably pulling from the rest of the group, like. So I said, instead of doing that, I said I'd take myself out of it because I was injured, and told the management whatever. You know, they kind of knew it was coming anyway. But when I left. I walked out with Shamey Bonner, shook hands with the two boys, and I said, look, that's me. And then this year, then just didn't pan out.
So that would have been last
February.
And you knew
last year, yeah.
You knew you were finished then.
No. I knew I was finished for the year.
Yeah.
As in 2023, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Hard to say, but
Having played against you last year and watched you run around the field, you didn't look too injured against us when you stuck on the top corner in the football.
In club football, when you were out injured from Tip.
So you're still able to move.
Just, I don't know, we've done a fitness test there on Sunday, and I'm sure our S&C will tell you different.
But honestly, at the start of the year,
if you'd got the call this year.
If you'd got a call in November saying, come in, we'll have a look at you, would you? But you must be thinking in the back of your head,
I still do a job.
I still have 10 minutes, like, still have 15, still have half, like, still, you know.
Yeah, but if you're going to do a job for 10 minutes, you're going to bust your arse for 6 months training just for 10 minutes.
Oh, I can't imagine you being I can't imagine you
being a supporting
agreeing to be a 10-minute man.
I don't think I would have went in, no. I think my time, it's a hard one to answer. But I think my time was done, and I had enough of it, yeah.
But we'll never know.
A couple of quick ones, so maybe didn't it?
Yeah, no bother.
Toughest opponent you ever marked?
Jeez, it mightn't be that quick. Noel Connors.
Waterford. Yeah.
Why?
He was so good, so strong, fast. Able to read the game as well. Cute, who to play, good at playing the hurling.
Yeah. Pulling and dragging.
Cute, very, very cute. Very cute. Paul Murphy as well from Kilkenny. Very, very good as well.
Kilkenny lads were giving out about you in the book.
I don't mind them.
Who was it? Jackie Tyrrell.
You're obviously doing something right if they're giving out about you.
Yeah, that's true.
What did he say? You were easy to upset or something like that?
Jeez, he never upset me, innit?
Bubbles.
Do you hear much trash talking on the pitch?
No. Kilkenny never did it, innit?
Really?
Never. No. They go out and they hurl, that's it. So small bits here and there, like, you know, if someone wins a free and they're close to it, they hit you a belt or whatever, like, but very little of it goes on in intercounty now. In club level it'd be different, like, but intercounty level there's very little of it going on.
I'd have loads of mouthpieces at club level, like Roar and Fall.
You told me one day, you don't have to say this if you want, but you were marking the fella and he started just talking about weird shit. Was it Harry Potter or something?
Yeah. Just inside, I don't know, corner forward or full forward or whatever. He started asking me, have I watched the new Harry Potter film and all this sort of stuff?
Wait, so this is intercounty championship?
Yeah. Or it could be, championship, yeah. It's just weird, like. I scratched my head looking at it. I was like, it's a new tactic, like. So, never.
Just started going on about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Had you seen it?
No. I still haven't seen it.
Do you want to tell us who was asking you that?
No.
Who was the best to train and tip?
Paddy Marr.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Paddy Bonner.
Actually passed him in third
to train.
He was out running. Paddy.
To train Paddy, yeah. Paddy loved training, yeah.
Fucking beast.
Well, look, there's a lot of them there, but if to pick one, Paddy, yeah.
Best coach you ever had?
I'd have to give me cousin Declan Fannin a shout out when I coached in 2016 with Eamon O'Shea. Was different altogether.
Yeah.
Different altogether.
Is hurling gone too serious? Is GA in general gone too serious?
Yeah, it is. Like, club now, even our own club, like, we're 4 or 5 days a week, like, you know.
Fuck.
Gym programs, S&Cs, like, all this sort of stuff. Like, you have to really enjoy it, like, you know. But
Do you enjoy training?
I enjoy training when you're coming up to a match. Yeah. It's fair.
Ball
like, no matter who you are, like, training this time of the year is hard work. Like.
Yeah. So, I can honestly say, like, having played like with club or whatever, like, 98% of trainings I hate. I honestly, like, match on a Sunday, training Friday night. That was it. I love all day. Give me that all day. Give me anything else.
Backs and forwards.
Yeah, I don't want anything else.
Like, Sunday, like, we had a fitness test on Sunday, like, you know, for club, like, that has to be done. But you see, some lads just love running, like.
Yeah.
Love running. then you see 3 or 4 other lads then just at the back, then just taking it handy, like. You know, just, as Conor O'Mahony used to say to me, that won't put the ball over the bar.
It is true. It is true.
Highlight.
I suppose, like obviously win the All-Ireland, but lifting 2019 cup with my cousin Joe.
Oh, class, yeah.
Joe was in line to start the first round of the championship and he got injured the week before in the A versus B game.
Jeez.
And he didn't play it in for the rest of the year.
Fuck. 30 inches.
So like,
Yeah.
that's it. And someone else stepped up and took his place. Like, but I suppose with being able to lift a cup with your cousin, not too many people get to do it.
That's powerful.
It was
Well,
good, yeah.
Do you think you'll go into management?
Yeah.
What kind of manager would you be?
A good one. I don't know.
Perfect answer.
I'm manager of our under-19s this year, but I was coaching the under-17s last year. Like coach them hard and train them hard, but like that's only trying to prepare him for adult level. Like,
Yeah.
you know. But like if you ask my nephew, he's only 15. Like he'd probably tell you I'm nothing but a, you know, because I train him hard. Like, but I look forward to that. Like I like going doing a bit of coaching and stuff. Like.
Yeah. As you said, it's all about the hard work. It's all about the dirty stuff. It's all about the running.
Exactly.
You know, as you said yourself. Yeah.
I wouldn't have been great for it, but I love doing it to other
To other
people.
people. You definitely, last question. You definitely retired.
Yeah.
There's definitely not 10
He
minutes.
is after this fucking interview anyway.
There's definitely not 10 minutes in you.
No, 100%.
What with the football?
No.
He took a while.
No.
He took a while.
No. I think they're looking for a left-footed free taker, alright?
Lad, I'm telling you. Get
It's either
ready.
you or Smacks, one of you.
We'll get that skills challenge done.
Yeah.
We'll get that done and we'll finally.
How much are you putting on the table? Remember the last time you took me on for something for money now?
We nearly had a row that day.
That was a Sunday evening. We were playing pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he bet me. We had money on it, and then he wouldn't take the money, which was even more disrespectful. Not only did he beat me, and I was sour enough over that, the two of us were very competitive, and everyone who was with us that day was like, "This is not going to end well."
I swear to God, lad, the pub was nearly clearing out.
And what did you do then? Because I wouldn't take the money out, what did you do then the night before your stag? You paid for me in a game of killers and darts.
Yeah, I did.
Fiver.
I did a fiver.
Bubbles, thanks for coming in, lad.
No bother, lads.
Cheers, Bubbles.